Hello, I'm Renee Bock, 8th grade U.S. history teacher, and I'm sorry that you were not able to make it to our curriculum night this year, but this little set of slides should help you understand some of what goes on in our U.S. history classes. So, our time periods we cover are from 1607 to 1900, first encounters to the Gilded Age. When we are working in U.S. history, I'm going to go over all the details of that, but I'll tell you a little bit about me. You might recognize that you can hear my accent. I was born and raised in Wisconsin, lived in Chicago for a long time, moved out here about 7 years ago, and have worked at Islander Middle School since. I got my undergrad at Alverno College, my master's at Concordia, and my English as a second language endorsement at the University of St. Francis. When we talk about what we do in U.S. history, you can see from the slide that we cover all the greatest hits of U.S. history. Our class is pretty fast paced, it's chronological, and the topics that we cover are colonial development, the American Revolution. We spend a whole unit on the creation of the Constitution, what that means for our government's functioning today. We do a unit that we do in conjunction with English language arts. When they're teaching the graphic novel Mouse, we do some background information on how Germany went from a democracy to a dictatorship so quickly. What that meant then, what lessons that has for us today, a deeper dive. Then we go back into our U.S. history looking at westward expansion, pros and cons of that, why we end up going to war with Mexico and what territories gained from that. We look at technology, looking at progress, destruction, changes in American life, cultural impacts. We look at the pre-Civil War America when the nation is splitting apart. We look at reform movements, the role of women in American life. We look at the American Civil War, which is a large unit because that one is definitely a game changer. We look at Reconstruction, what happened afterward, what didn't happen, why did things end up the way they did, and how does that still have impacts today? And we end with the Gilded Age. Waves of immigration sweeping this country, changes in technology, developing into a nation that was to be reckoned with. So within all of that, you can see there's a variety of things we cover. Some of these topics are a little heavier than others. So we will have fun when we can, but we will cover some serious content. And we'll generally send you an email message as a little heads up to let you know when we're approaching something that's going to be possibly challenging for your student to process. Now, for the fun stuff, we definitely like to gamify when we can. We like to use Kahoots, something called GimKit, Sporkles. Class kicks sometimes feel not as fun to the kids, but that's where we get some real-time ability to give feedback and watch as they're writing and reading. So we've got all kinds of apps that we like to use. When we grade what we're working on, we are G for E, standards-based grading. This is 4 levels. It's not about points. We're not just racing to get the points. Not every assignment we give will have a level 4 opportunity. Some won't even go into the grade book because just like if you play a sport or an instrument, there needs to be practice before the big game or the concert. So we like students to be engaged with what we're working on, but not be afraid every time that there's the weight of a grade going in the book with what they're going to work on. Sometimes we need some of that good failure and that practice to learn how to do things differently. When we're going to be grading something, we have rubrics and proficiency scales that we'll always include so that students know what it takes to achieve at level 3, at level 4. When we are going to assess something, know that students will have had opportunities to practice already through notes and games and classroom discussion. We don't like surprises in history. You'll have seen it before. Due dates will be clearly indicated in our Schoology, in our daily slides, in the unit calendar that students receive. That information will be there. They are generally offered a chance to do something as an individual, a partner, with a group, and in what they're going to create. We offer choices at different times of podcast, narrative, infographic, video, report, a chance for everybody to shine and show their skill and what they're good at, and to learn how to get better at some things they might not be as good at right away. These also give us that chance to learn how to work with people, ask for help, and learn from others. So what can you do to help? Well, you can ask your student each night about what practice was assigned. What do they need to finish up? What we doing in class today? Help them learn how to use a digital or a paper calendar. That is not a skill that comes naturally to eighth graders, so your help is much appreciated on helping them keep track of what to do, what other activities do I have, how long is this going to take, what resources will I need. That practice takes time to develop those skills. Also, one of it, the tool we use every day is the iPad. So if you could help them remember to charge that each night, that would be great. And if you can watch the news or listen to it with your student, talk about current events. Let them talk to you and ask you questions. Engage with what's out there so that they can start developing that skill of being an involved citizen in a democracy. If you could encourage them to advocate for help when they need it. I can't help if I don't know. So it's better to reach out, see me in class, send me a Schoology message, check in. And this might seem like an odd one, but make sure their glasses and contact lens prescriptions are up to date. When they're growing, those eyes change, and then sometimes they can't see what we're doing. So we want to make sure everybody's able to be their best, most engaged learner, and that helps when you can physically follow along. So thank you for listening to this and watching. If you need to contact me, I'm there at renee.debock at mercerislandschools.org. I usually answer within 48 hours. And always, you can be looking for our emails that we send to keep you updated on what's going on, and you reach out if you need it. So I hope that we have a great year together. I'm looking forward to seeing your student grow in their skills, in their knowledge, their ability to work with others, just opening up a whole new world for them when they begin to understand the past in order to recognize what we see in the present and to be able to plan for a brighter future for all of us. Thank you.